Today we're at Chatuchak market trying to find 5 props for 500 baht, and then we're going to use those with 5 different lighting techniques. The point of this is just to practice product photography and show that you don't need anything extremely expensive to put a good product shoot together. If you've never come to Chatuchak before, it's usually a really vibrant place to hang out on the weekend, but because of the pandemic and all this going on, a lot of these shops have closed, but they're slowly starting to reopen. So I'm hoping that it comes back with the same level of vibrancy it had before the whole situation here. So the first object we're going to look for is some kind of necklace. Even though there's a lot of stores closed here, I'm confident that we'll be able to find what we want for the shoot. I'm working with mostly darker tones in this, so I'm thinking something like these wooden kind of beaded necklace might work well as some kind of background item. So I think we're gonna go for those. They're pretty cheap as well. This one's like 90 baht. So go with that for item number 1. Kopum Cup. 1 item down with that bracelet at 90 baht, 410 to go, 4 more objects. Let's see what we can find. Usually I like to add some kind of plant element to the shoot when I'm doing product photography, and all these plants around here are absolutely great, but I'm trying to do dark tones for this photo shoot, so we're gonna try to find something different. I know there's a shop around here that sells like wheat and acorns and things that are more like a wooden, dark brown earth tone kind of thing, so I'm gonna try to find that as well. How much? 1 for 20?
20 baht.
And then
50.
this one 22?
Same.
Okay. Can I take this?
20.
Go boom. The wheat that I just picked up was 20 baht, so that brings our total to 110 with 390 to go. And now that we've got 2 of the props, let's talk about 2 of the lighting setups. In this video, we're gonna do 2 different product shoots. The first one is going to be street photography themed, and it's just going to use a few different street photography books. With that one, I'm just going to walk you through the different lighting techniques, and then at the end, we'll use the props from Chatuchak to make a totally different product shoot, just so you can compare and contrast the lighting techniques and see how different ones will work for some products where they won't work for others, and vice versa. The first lighting technique is called top down, and with that technique, you put a light on a C-stand and attempt to bring it as close as you can to the product that you're shooting. The reason for this is that it displays an even amount of light over the entire scene. The closer and larger your light source is, the better the quality of light will be. So that's why you want to get it as close as you can to avoid really harsh shadows as well. The second lighting technique also uses 1 light, but for this one, it will go on the side. This allows the object to have a lot of contrast and stand out from the background because of the heavy shadows on one side of the object opposite of your light source. If those shadows are too dark for you, then simply bring in a piece of white paper or foam and bounce a bit of the light back onto your subject. So this shop right behind me has all these small wooden boxes that I think will complement what we're doing really well. We've got 390 left to work with, and let's see what these cost. So this one...
270, same. 270, 220.
Okay. I'll just take the 220 one. Sure. So the box was 220, it brings our total up to 330 and 170 baht left to work with. Should be able to get this 500 baht challenge done, no problem. Swadikap. How much for these national?
National, only this zone, 3 book 100 baht.
3 book 100?
Yes, for national this zone.
Okay.
For raining, I want to.
Okay. Okay.
เข้าเดือนที่4แล้วมันอยู่เพื่อมันอยู่เลยอ่ะมันเป็นไอเดีย
Boom.
นะครับ
Now that we've got 2 more props out of the way, let's check out the rest of the lighting techniques. 2 of the 3 remaining techniques that we're going to cover involve adding a second light to the 1 light techniques that we covered earlier in the video. The first one just involves bringing a light on the other side of your product to even out that light. This will also help reduce the shadows on the product and is useful for products like glass bottles that have labels to make sure that they are evenly lit. The other 2 lighting technique involves bringing a light at a 3/4 angle to the product that you're trying to shoot, combined with the top-down light on the C-stand. This is a classic lighting technique that is also often used with portraits. It can add a little bit of contrast to the background compared to the other techniques, and adds more separation and depth to your photos. The final technique that we're going to look at is simply to use natural light. This lighting technique is often what photographers are trying to replicate in studio, because even though it's extremely easy to set up, it limits the amount of time that you're able to shoot. So if you have a time-consuming product shoot with the need for consistent light, this setup will not suit you. Looking at all these little glass bottles here, they might put us a little bit over the 500 baht mark, but I think they should work good with what we're shooting.
85 baht.
85? Can I take the 2 and the 1 for that size? Okay.
This side?
Yeah, I'm very happy with all the props that we found today here. And now that we've got everything, let's go back and shoot these photos. Before we go into the other shoot, let's recap what the props are that we're gonna use. We have these glass bottles, this wooden looking necklace, the small wooden box, the wheat, and the National Geographics weren't really working out, so we're gonna use these old books that were also picked up at Chatuchak as well for a similar price. The objective here was just to show all the different kind of things you can get at Chatuchak Market, so these will suffice. And finally, the product that we're gonna use are these candles from a brand called Wicked. They're made here in Bangkok by some people that I shoot with on a somewhat regular basis. This is what we came up with these props and this product. The main thing to observe when comparing the different lighting techniques is the reflections on the bottle in the background, how well lit the label is on the candle itself, and any shadows that are produced within each different lighting setup. Each of these can complement your product better or worse depending on what you're shooting with specifically. In this case, a few that stand out best to me are the 2-light side setup and the single light side setup, because of the reflections they create in the background and the way the light is dispersed across the scene. The natural lighting setup in this case does not produce as well of a reflection as I would like to see, and the top-down and 3/4 angle shots produce a kind of strange, very unnatural looking reflection on the bottles that are placed in the background. If you got anything out of this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.